refers to Desmond Adams, and it is from Mary Ann Kerr of Crescent. Well-regarded climatologists recognize that human activity is causing climate change. How concerned are you that human activity is causing unhealthy environmental conditions? If you are concerned and you were elected to Congress, what action would you support to help make the needed changes required so that humans can live in a sustainable environment?
I am a proponent of climate action. We have a dire issue that's going on right now globally that impacts also obviously our country and more importantly the state of Iowa. Climate action is significant. And I'm going to tell you, when I started this race, I wasn't even understanding of what climate action was. I really thought it was the weather. I thought that the weather peaks and lows, the fact that we did not have snow on December 23rd caused me kind of challenges. I do live in Iowa. My son couldn't go outside and frolic in the snow. I thought that was climate action. I thought that was the issue. But that's a byproduct of the issue. So here it is, when we have ozone, when our ozone is impacted by our high emission carbons, then all of a sudden we overheat our planet, which causes more water and loss of our ecosystem. And then ultimately, if our ecosystem is impacted, that's how we're impacted on what we can do on eating and drinking and living, right? So if a tree no longer can protect a bird and that bird has to find a new habitat, we might lose a species of the bird, and that's an old school ecosystem if you can recall back. I believe that climate action is the most critical issue for the entire country, not just the 3rd Congressional District. I signed the Climate Mobilization Pledge, which took it to saying by 2030, hopefully we are at a 60% reliability on sustainable energy. I believe that this is an opportunity for us to create jobs, to create opportunities, and more importantly, to keep a sustainable planet because we only get one. We don't have another one. We can't kiss, it's almost like when you drop something good, you kiss it up and say, let me keep going. We don't get a second chance. We only have one chance with one planet. So I am in 100% favor in taking care of God's green earth that he gave us so that we can have great quality water, air, and ground.
Well-regarded climatologists recognize that human activity is causing climate change. How concerned are you that human activity is causing unhealthy environmental conditions? If you are concerned and you were elected to Congress, what action would you support to help make the needed changes required so that humans can live in a sustainable environment?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the science is in. Climate change is real. Human activity contributes significantly to carbon emission and to climate change. In fact, the Pentagon's National Security Strategy lists climate change as one of the 3 largest drivers of conflict as we move forward into the future due to resource scarcity, to the changing landscape across the globe that we will see as the result of climate change. Climate change is an existential threat. It's a national security threat. It's something that we need to absolutely be proactive in confronting. My campaign has produced an environmental protection plan. I encourage you to take a look at it on my website, jimforiowa.com. It's a comprehensive plan of steps that we need to put into place to combat climate change and ensure we have a clean environment as we move into the future. We worked closely with the League of Conservation Voters to produce this environmental protection plan, and Rick Smith, my environmental chair, as well. But I very much, as we move forward, believe that we need to invest in clean, renewable energy. Here in Iowa, we have the most to gain by being proactive. We have the most to lose by not taking action. Our agricultural economy will suffer significantly as climate change continues to occur. We need to expand the authorities and protections in the Clean Water Act, the Clean Air Act, and ensure that the President and the EPA has the authority to conduct and carry out the President's Clean Power Plan.
Well-regarded climatologists recognize that human activity is causing climate change. How concerned are you that human activity is causing unhealthy environmental conditions? If you are concerned and you were elected to Congress, what action would you support to help make the needed changes required so that humans can live in a sustainable environment?
If we're getting into this campaign and getting myself involved with various issues, policies, you educate yourself. One of the things I ran into is the diversity that's involved in this issue, the number of people, the interests, the goals, and Jim said that the science is in. All my life, I personally have been making decisions based on evidence, scientific fact, what I can perceive it to be, and there is no question that climate change is real. Unfortunately, we have a group of people in this country who deny that, and still do to this day. You know, there's even a group of people that they call themselves the Flat Earth Society. That's the type of thing we have to deal with. So how do you address that? How do you actually deal with that as a member of Congress from Iowa? You're a single individual representative down there. Well, I think a number of things that these two candidates have stated is an absolute requirement. Obviously, we all want clean air, clean water. I definitely support the President's Clean Power Plan. The levels of emissions that puts on our society is a good thing. But not only that, it involves just more than that area. In Iowa, we are particularly involved in environmental issues with our agricultural community. And we have to adopt modern agricultural methods, which will help our society, particularly in the area of water, to allow us to improve the water standards in this state. As stated before in other meetings, over 70% of our water in the state, lakes, can't drink. That's unacceptable. And any legislation that comes along with me that changes that. I will tell you one tidbit that just irks me. Your current representative happens to have about the lowest rating on the League of Conservation, even lower than Steve King, and it's really hard to get lower than Steve King.
Next question.